a sec. There we go. Okay, good morning, Thach.
Good morning.
So I know you've had a lot going on in your life, and you said you have something in particular you'd like to coach around. So why don't you sort of give me the outline version, catch me up, what's been going on.
It's setting forth an intention for a goal that you like, right? And then at the same time be committed to it. At the same time, not be attached to it. And at the same time, feeling like, you're not moving fast enough, or, why is it not manifesting on how it should be like, or trusting that there's a bigger picture than what I see,
Okay.
So I guess for me, it's like, I just use my my real estate business, for example. I'm working on launching my new real estate company, and of course, my commitment is really to help 15, 20 family a month, either sell their property or buy into a new home. And the thing that I'm committed to that, right? That's my intention. At the same time, I've been feeling a little bit frustrated and attached to the results because it's not looking like how my intention is. Right?
Sure.
And at the same time, keep myself in that state of, eagerness and exciting and feeling confident, knowing that, it's all going to turn out.
Yeah.
Of course, you got the little voice in the back of your mind that says, okay, why it ain't turning out?
Yeah.
So, why did it take so long?
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
That is what I've been experiencing, for the last probably, maybe 2 days or so, 3 days. And that's what's right on my forefront in myself.
Yeah.
Now, the great thing is that I recognize this. You know what I mean, Deborah? Yes.
Oh, I'm so glad you recognize it, and I'm so glad you recognize it. That is a great thing. That's a great thing.
And the other thing I recognize also is how it makes me feel.
Yes.
Because in the past, when I wasn't aware of this whole thing, and I didn't recognize it, I wasn't even present in my emotion, then I feel like, why am I feeling so crappy? Why am I feeling derailed? Why am I feeling like I'm like things are getting harder? Why am I feeling things not moving fast enough? You see what I mean? And all that, and then I feel like, wow, why am I so pissed off all of a sudden? Yeah.
Right. And when you didn't recognize it, you thought it really, really was what was going on, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a fabulous thing to coach around, and first of all, I just want to really congratulate you on noticing that this is what I've been experiencing for the last 2 days. I recognize it, and I recognize how it makes me feel. I feel different. And you also mentioned some thoughts that were going through in your head. You noticed some thoughts that were going through your head, and those are thoughts that have come up before, right? And those are feelings you've had before, right, Thach?
That's right.
Do you remember the last time you felt like that for maybe a couple of days, or thought some of those same thoughts, like why isn't it happening fast enough, or why are things harder now? Why am I feeling pissed off? Do you remember when that happened?
Oh God, I mean, one of the things I don't know if this is part of the syndrome of dreaming big. You know what I mean? There's a balance between, right, dreaming big, and there's a balance on not being attached to the outcome. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. So yes, I mean I experienced this many times in the past. Right. That's why now, now I'm much more present to that. When I'm in this place, I recognize it, and I know that it is part of expanding and growing and big. And so I think for me right now is like when I'm feeling this, I just have to remind myself, and then really, again, like we're talking right now, shifting, my mindset, shifting the conversation, what's happening in my head, shifting the conversation, what's coming out of my mouth, you know what I mean? So it doesn't really like spiral me down to the ground, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So those are wonderful, both self-coaching tools, and those are also wonderful strategies for being disciplined and for managing your thoughts and managing your emotions. And also I hear you talking about, that this is part of that dreaming big. It's part of the expansion. Sometimes what no longer belongs comes up to yell and scream at us, right?
Right.
So I'm also wondering if I'm hearing something that says, but it doesn't feel good. Isn't there a way for me to get it to feel better faster, right?
Right.
Is there a little bit of that?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Nobody wants to get stuck in that, right?
That's right.
And it's true. Even mentally, we can be the observer. Many philosophies recommend being the observer. We can be the observer and in it at the same time. You were saying you used to just be in it, right? You used to be in it. And now you're in it and you observe it at the same time. So at the same time, there's this part going, yeah, this feels awful. There's this other part that says, yeah, I know, I've been here before. It'll pass, right? But now there's a third part that says, okay, but what if it could pass different, better, faster? Maybe I could use it. So that's good. So let's see how we could use it, just for fun. Do you mind? Could we experiment with it a little bit? Could we use you as a guinea pig, Thach?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want you to just take a deep breath, and I want you to become aware of where that crappy feeling currently lives at the moment. When the crappy feeling comes up, when the conversation starts, there's that conversation about, God, it's just not happening fast enough. What's wrong with this situation? Why can't I get it going? That kind of conversation. Then there's certain sensations that probably come up. Like you said, you become aware of how it's making you feel. So where does that feeling live? Where do you feel that feeling? Is it, in your head, shoulders, stomach? Where does it kind of come bother you during the day?
I'll probably say in my head right now.
Okay. So there it is in your head. Okay, so just be aware of it. It's not like we're going to aggravate it or make it louder, although we might a little bit. What we want to do is we want to see if we can't open this conversation to that. It's my idea that there may be some valuable information there, and maybe the very feeling that we don't like maybe can help us not only get out of that, but help us with the manifestation, which is kind of cool.
Right. So
just, what can you tell me about that feeling in your head? Is it a pushing feeling, or is it a heavy feeling, or?
It's so funny you say that. I felt this in the last 2 days. The last time I went to bed, I was just feeling frustrated, and I woke up this morning at 3:55 to go to the, get ready to go to the gym.
Mhm.
It was like I had this headache. It was just like pounding. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And of course, you can't go to the gym doing boot camp class with a pounding headache because
no, you can't, because you'll throw up, right?
That's the worst camp class you ever experienced.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The only thing worse is when you're completely tired.
Right.
I can't do it then either.
So so it's interesting that while we're talking about this, it's in my head. It just feels like like there's it's heavy in there.
Mhm.
Feel like it's like there's a little bit of pounding in there.
Mhm.
Feel like it feel like it want to jump out. It want to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Probably has something it thinks it wants to say. It wants to get out. That's probably what that pounding is about. You can almost imagine a person pounding on your head. So we're going to give it the chance to get out. That's what we're going to do this morning. We're just going to say, okay, come on out. And, we want to listen to you. We want to hear you this morning.